Hello, how are you today, this fine day, wherever you're coming to me for this video? You are joining me for a Julie Norman Yoga special class, one of our shorter classes that works on a specific topic, a specific practice from the path of yoga. In this session, we're going to be using this fine wall here behind me to do a just delicious, yummy legs up the wall restorative practice. This is something I do at least 3 times a week to help my body and to help my nervous system, and of course to help my mind. It's really anxiety releasing to work with restorative poses. And if you lead a more active lifestyle, I love to mountain bike, I love to hike, we stand in the kitchen a lot doing food prep, and that's really hard on the lower body, the legs and the lower back in particular. And this kind of a practice is what I do to rehabilitate my body, to help to balance my body and help me keep going in a healthy, balanced way. We've got to balance things out. So if you're really active, or if you struggle with being a little more sedentary, if you sit a lot in your job, it's really great to invert and help the back decompress from that sitting, to drastically change the circulation, to align the posture from hunching forward. You'll see that, your back is flat on the ground, so you're undoing any rounding of the spine. And this type of practice is also fabulous if you're newer to yoga or newer to a more active lifestyle. It's a great way to help the body gently come to some more movement and some different positions. So join me over here on the wall. It's a little awkward, but just kind of sit next to the wall and scoot yourself up there and take some time getting into it. I will do my best to show you how it's done, and we'll have some fun. So I'm glad you could join me. Let's go. Hi there. I'm back. Okay, this is gonna be a little tricky because of the camera angle and the precariousness of this pose. So I'm putting my right hip next to the wall. You could choose either side, knees bent. I'm going to try not to unplug my microphone that's hooked into the phone here. So you kind of scoop one side of your hip, one side of your butt to the wall as close as possible. Lay back and then start to bring your legs up. Ta-da! So there you have it. I'm going to use my microphone cord to angle the camera. So tricky angle here. You're not going to see all of my face. That's okay. But the main things I do want you to notice is that I'm getting my bottom, my butt cheeks, that is, as close as possible to the wall. So you may really need to scoot and shift and scoot and shift to get there. For this practice, I don't recommend having something under your pelvis because we're going to be moving the legs around. If you're just doing legs up the wall and hanging out here, you can prop yourself up more, and I'll likely show you that in another video down the road. But for now, it's essentially inverted Dandasana, staff pose. So you're just a 90-degree angle, okay? You want to be sure your spine is aligned. It's like you're in mountain pose, just bent into that 90-degree angle. Legs straight up the wall. And start with really flexing the feet and having the feet hip width apart. So you want to feel that nice line from the hip joints, the head of the femur bones, up and out through your heels. Got it? So start there, and you want to let your back relax into the ground. So there's just this little bit of engagement. Now, if your hamstrings are tight, start with the legs a little bit bent. We're going to bend the legs together eventually. So if the hamstrings are really tight, start with the legs bent, and maybe they loosen up a bit, and you can straighten them up a bit more. So this is Vipariti Karini. And it is fabulous. So you get yourself in this pose and you just breathe. So as you're watching, find yourself a wall, wiggle yourself upside down, partially anyways. And once you're here, just try to feel the head weigh heavy into the ground. Arms out at your sides, palms up, so you have that open heart. Let the spine and all the muscles around it receive the support of the ground. Breathe. Nice full dirga breath. Complete breath, mindful breath. If you really pay attention, it doesn't take long for the heart rate to slow, the mind to settle. Just a mild inversion like this. Inversions are technically getting our head lower than our heart. Think of a headstand, a handstand, a plow pose, shoulder stand. Those are inversions. Powerful. But that's not accessible to everybody. So just here, this is a mild inversion, head on the same level as the heart. Again, cardiovascular benefits, immune system benefits, anxiety, mood benefits, lymphatic drainage, really positive for the lymph system. Just all kinds of healthy shit going on. So here we are. So you stay here. I'm going to change the camera angle to make it a little bit better before we transition into our next pose. So you just stay here. Let me play with this. See where I can get us. So you can really see what's going on. The irony of this, I'm using a yoga bolster for my tripod. That's a little bit better. So here we are. So one of my favorite poses to do inverted like this is pigeon pose. So pigeon pose is that figure 4 formation. We often do it reclined. You can do it prone with that long leg reaching back. You can do it as a balance pose, standing on one leg, crossing the other. So what's so great about doing it reclined like this is you can find many different increments of the stretch. So you can bring that first leg, I don't care which side you start on, I'm starting with my right, ankle above the kneecap, if there's enough hip flexibility there. If that's too much, you can go below, or in this case above the kneecap. So you can be here for a softer pose, or you can be here for a little deeper. And you can take the same hand on the same side, press it into the thigh just very gently, and let the back of that other arm, I don't know if you can see it on this side. So if I prop up here, you can't quite see it, but the back of this arm is on the ground so that I don't have to really push. I could just kind of, there you can almost see it. I can just kind of prop my arm so it doesn't have to work hard. It's just holding that leg open. Does that make sense? So you want to do about at least 10 breaths on each side, but you can certainly do more. So settle yourself in and start with that opposite leg straight or almost straight. I'm going to run through all these poses with you. But you can pause and you can take your time to go longer and deeper and, you know, spend more time in each of these poses. So with this one, you would obviously do both sides. And as you're hanging out on each side, if you don't feel much sensation from that starting position, what you can do is start to gently walk that opposite foot down the wall. And, you know, just press it flat into the wall. So what you're seeing now is I'm getting into a deeper reclined pigeon pose. Let me flip it so you could maybe get a better angle here. If I start here and then start walking that opposite foot down. Make sense? Woo! I feel the love there, my friends. Now, something to be aware of in all of these poses. I want you to keep your butt on the ground. So like as I start lowering this leg down, don't let this happen. Don't let the butt lift up. Press the tailbone down and keep that nice, flat, lengthened spine. All right? So, recline pigeon, that's number one. And you can do, you know, lots of variation here. You can gently twist it side to side, right? You can keep that straighter leg, pull it off the wall and hold here, but you've got that support of the wall when you want it back. And again, you can go to make really slight increments. So that's pigeon. Da, da, da. You can walk both feet down the wall for a couple of different things. For supported Apanasana pose, which is knee to chest pose. So we do need a chest pose all the time, almost every practice. So fundamental, so functional. Doing it here, you can kind of just let your arms relax instead of having to hold your knees up, you know, with the hands or just on your own regard. Having the feet placed in the wall is just this really nice support. You don't have to work as hard to be here. So what's going to happen? You're going to get a little more hip flexor release into those hip creases here. You're going to get a little more lower back release. Oh, so, so, so good. If you want, you can always do it just as one leg. Keep that other leg extended. Just really focus on releasing the one side. Again, I recommend holding at least each pose for at least 10 breaths, but this is restorative, so you can really spend time. Set your phone timer, you know, for 10 minutes, 20 minutes, and enjoy. So, pigeon, knee to chest. Knee to chest, you can open right to, ta-da, recline, bound, angle. Love doing this pose on the wall. I'll talk to you guys later. Oh, so good. Now, I dropped in kind of deep here. It's later in the day. I've already done a few little practices, worked in the yard, feeling all nice and lubricated. But if it was morning time, I would start with my feet a little higher. You can actually take a strap. I'll have to show you that another time and support yourself in this pose a little more fully so you don't have to hold anything. But this is a fabulous place to hang out. Big inner thigh groin opening, continued lower back, SI joint release. And all the while you're doing all this stuff with your lower body, your upper body just gets to chill. Nice heart opening. Relaxing that throat, relaxing that jaw. And then kind of a variation or combination of both knees to chest and bound angle would be reclined happy baby or happy baby on the wall. So it's like knees to chest, Apanasana, but it's just wider. And you can prop here. So it's kind of variation of happy baby or squat. Just, whoo, buddy, more inner thigh, groin opening, more deep release. You'll notice I'm propping my legs here. Again, arms are a little more out to the side this time, but just creating some support so the body can relax. Love, love, love this one. Right from here, you could take the legs wide. Ha ha ha! Check that out. What happened to my left leg? It disappeared. Woo! Open and do legs up the wall wide. Now, I'm not sequencing these in any particular way. Do what feels good. Start with just those legs straight up the wall and then see what calls to you. See what happens first. Slide right down into bound angle or slide right open to your big wide open stance here. You can always keep the knees a little bent, or you could straighten them right out. I'm keeping the feet a little bit active flexing there. And just let things go. So juicy, so good. Body may talk to you a little bit as you're in these poses. Listen. It may be uncomfortable, but is it that nice, sweet discomfort of release, of transformation, of something new? You know, when we practice yoga, we are creating space. We are opening. We are stepping into the unknown. That's the point. We want change. We want to have a different experience in these bodies, on this earth, in our minds. So when you come up to that edge of something different, take a breath. And just be with it before reacting and recoiling from it. Maybe it's not a bad thing. Maybe you can surrender the control, the expectations. Oh, we get in our own way so much. Take your arms overhead, find that big stretch. And again, you can hang out here forever and a day if you want. I'm going to start to bring it in and show you our final fun frolic thing for the day. Spinal twist. So, two options. A little softer twist. Come back here to knees to chest. And you can keep them a little even softer by taking the feet up a bit. But essentially, keep your upper body where it is from the low ribs down and just walk your feet to one side, keeping that opposite shoulder blade on the earth. And then again, you could straighten your legs out a little more, or you can walk your feet in to keep yourself tucked into a nice deep knees to chest with a twist. You can keep your chin center or turn it to the opposite shoulder. So it makes the twist a little bit deeper. but it also gives you an opportunity to kind of soften into it a little more because your feet are against the wall. Now, let me show you, the other option would be to, from your pigeon, recline pigeon, I'm going to try not to pull the camera over here, you can turn and go down the wall, drop that crossed foot over to the side. Now that's a much deeper twist, so be mindful, listen to your hip, your back, and you can always unwind and just stack the legs that way. It's kind of fun trying things from this different angle. And then you can always finish back to your starting point or off of that second side of your twist. So you finish both sets of twists, come to the side, rest for a few breaths, and then make your way back up to seated slowly. You can come up and actually put your back against the wall, take a few minutes of meditation. Is a really good option, but the wall is a prop. So just like your yoga blocks, yoga straps, yoga bolsters, yoga blankets, your yoga mat, use the wall as a tool to help support and enhance your practice. You will see it again in some of my regular classes and these special classes. Thank you for being a part of the membership circle. I love and respect you, and I want to hear from you always. So by all means, let me know how this practice served you, and if you have any questions or challenges with it, we can make it work for you or find you something that will. All right, take care of yourself, and I'll see you next time. Bye.